Hey, I'm out hiking this morning in appalling weather, so hopefully you can hear me and see me through the blur, because I really wanted to talk a little bit today about a topic that's actually really dear to my heart, and that is body weight. So if that's triggering for anybody, please know that definitely not my intention. It's about compassion for ourselves and about nourishment. And this is a little bit about my journey with my own body shame and the things that perpetuated that along the way and the ways that I'm healing. So we'll start off with the healing part of the equation. And it's interesting because I've done a massive amount of work on changing the beliefs that sit in the background and drive what has always been in the past my perception of my body. And of course this was perpetuated by programs like The Biggest Loser, and I was spurred on to talk about this in my Substack and here because I was watching the Netflix documentary about The Biggest Loser television program, and it really brought up for me a lot of the beliefs that were drilled into me at that stage when I was going through a really vulnerable period, and it reinforced negative stereotypes and set up that culture of punishing ourselves because our bodies didn't look like what was considered to be the norm. It reinforced stereotypes about what bigger bodies mean, and frankly it did a huge amount of damage and a disservice to an entire generation of people, and honestly was criminal. So yeah, that's what started me thinking about writing about this. And I mean, at some point I was always going to talk about my own health journey when it comes to my body and body weight issues. I've struggled my entire existence to maintain a healthy body weight, and the messages from everywhere from the time I was really young was that to have a body that didn't look like other people's because I was chubby was a bad thing, and that the only way that could be solved was through self-discipline, and that there was obviously those stereotypes of just being too lazy and all of that complete BS. So over the years that gets reinforced again and again, and for me roll on to my 20s when I'm unable to have children, and as a result of a completely screwed up hormonal system. And programs like The Biggest Loser come along, and you're faced with that it's your fault mentality, which when you're at that really vulnerable stage is deeply resonant in terms of messaging. And so it reinforced everything from when I was younger and really set me up to feel even more of a failure when I couldn't have children, that it was my fault, and there was no recognition or understanding of the sheer complexity of our bodies and how they operate. And there was just this bash it on the head approach. You know, eat ridiculously low numbers of calories and beat yourself up incessantly with exercise and you'll get there. And that is so, so, so wrong. So that's the background. Grind on 30 years. And I've learned a lot. And what I've discovered is the complexity of our beings, physical, energetically, spiritually. Every part of us is this incredible interconnected force of nature. And the simplistic approach of that type of program and that type of thinking is beyond damaging, and the beliefs that it sets up can be sitting there in the background running the show without you even realizing that that's what's happening. So I'll give you a classic example, and bear in mind I've done a massive amount of work on this, and yet the other day I had a photograph a girlfriend had sent through to me where I'd been taken in a photo beside her and her daughter, and the first thing that popped into my head was that I look like a giant. And I said that, and my husband said, "You're not a giant. For God's sake, woman." Literally that. And then I stopped and I thought, you know what? That's that old program again. That's that old beat yourself up mentality because you look different to other people. But the thing is, we all look different to one another. That's the whole point. We're all uniquely individual. So why on earth would I be beating myself up because I look different to my very dear friend and her daughter? Of course I look different. That's the thing. We can stop ourselves in our tracks when these thoughts come up, when those judgments come up about our bodies, whether it's around weight, whether it's around something that's broken and isn't doing what it used to. And we can really challenge those and actually look at the truth about the wholeness of our bodies, the wholeness of our beings. And we are more than just the individual parts of our physical body. Nourishing ourselves with the way that we talk to ourselves is huge. And saying that I'm a giant next to them isn't nourishing. It's not nourishing me in any way, shape or form. It's also not great for them, because that them gives them, a set of beliefs that are kind of not healthy for anybody either. So, yeah, I just wanted to start off with that and say we all have these thoughts about ourselves. They are all driven largely through beliefs that we've picked up along the way. And if you're like me and you've struggled to maintain a healthy weight your entire life, or it's just starting to kind of hit because you're hitting that perimenopause and menopause stage, and you're terrified because you have those thought streams running in the background that, gaining an ounce of weight is a bad thing, then it's worthwhile stopping and challenging those thoughts. So one of the key practices that I just want to leave you with in this is very much along those lines. So when we have those types of thoughts bounce into our heads, I'd really like us to all take a moment to stop, identify that thought, and then challenge it. And once we've done that, let's replace it with compassion. So a compassionate thought, and I'm just going to stop here in the middle of the trees with rain dripping on top of me so I can try and do this. But yeah, so when we have those thoughts, what I would love for us to do is stop, breathe, put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, take a deep breath, I am whole. My body is beautiful. I am a complex, incredible being. And this is my truth. Just that. Try that. It brings a tear to my eyes because my body is hearing it. And that's what we need to do. Have a great day.